All right, we're on this last series now. 2 minutes to go. A 9-point deficit as the Phoenix Suns look to close out the Denver Nuggets in a sweep. And I had Phoenix picked, but I did not expect the thorough domination that this series has shown. Uh, Paul and Booker again combining now for what looks like 64 points as it stands right now. Chris Paul had that 15 assists, 0 turnover game. I think coming into game 4, he had 33 assists, 3 turnovers, an 11 assist to turnover ratio is pretty friggin' awesome. And he has controlled these games on a string, and Devin Booker has just been unguardable. Now, it will be interesting to see because Booker has, again, I'll say, he hasn't faced a top tier defender. And so if we see the Clippers come out of the other side of this bracket, that it will be the hardest challenge he's had to face. I think if the Jazz come out, you have the similar issue with the Nuggets, with the Lakers, where they have solid perimeter defenders, and Royce O'Neal's been awesome, but you need that extra size and strength against Booker to really give him troubles, and no one's yet to do that. And he's really been emerging as an awesome player in these playoffs. And the story of the series has been DeAndre Ayton, because again, still not putting up the stats that jump out of the box score, but he's been pivotal in his role of staying disciplined, not getting into foul trouble, and being able to at least make Jokic's life as difficult as possible. Now, Jokic put up 32, 20, and 10 in game 3, and the Nuggets still lost. And Ayton after the game was like shocked looking at the numbers going, that's why he's the MVP. And there's an immense amount of respect between these two guys. But Ayton is taxing Jokic on each play that he makes. And it allows, the biggest thing is it allows the rest of the Phoenix Suns to stay glued to their man on the perimeter and make those shots more difficult for Austin Rivers, for Facundo Campazzo, for an injured Michael Porter Jr., for and probably injured Will Barton, for an Aaron Gordon, right? And so when the shot making doesn't come like it did in the Portland series, then like you just see how big of a gap there is without Jamal Murray for this team. And even if Jamal Murray's in this series, I think Denver now has to reassess based on this series and think we probably need one more perimeter creator. And that's the thing that they've been missing. And that's why they've been tied to Bradley Beal for so many years now as a potential trade partner. But yeah, Denver's definitely got to see what else they can get there, because Porter, again, super talented, and he could even be the number 1 on this team, but the back issue is starting to return, and that's something that's been lingering throughout his entire life. So can you rely on him to go a whole regular season and whole playoffs without suffering some sort of injury that sets him back like it's happening now?
So you get one quick fix to apply to this Nuggets team based off how the Suns series has gone. You improve their offensive consistency or ability to challenge, defend the paint, defend the perimeter.
Well, so if I
What's
had to pick one thing, it would be health, right? That's the one thing I would change. A healthy Jamal Murray and a healthy Michael Porter Jr. dramatically changed the outcome of this series, but that's just not the case. So then I really like Phoenix has just outclassed Denver in every other aspect of this series. So truly it came down to health. But I think if you're Denver, you're looking for a Bradley Beal, or you're looking for, I mean, Donovan Mitchell's not on the market, but that level of player, because Jamal Murray's been great. But if he's your number 1 perimeter guy, again, it's tough for guys under 6'3" to really be the number 1 guy. And the only one who's really successfully done it is Isaiah Thomas on those Pistons teams. And then, of course, Steph Curry and
Kyrie?
Damian Lillard and Chris Paul have been this generation's version. But like really only Curry is the one who's had any success on his own. But then, of course, Kevin Durant comes in. It changes the complete outlook of that team. But it's just tough for a smaller guy.
Do you need that type of player though with someone as special as Jokic?
I the the answer is yes, based on this series, right?
Yeah,
And
just one more shot creator.
yeah, it's so tough to know because of the health of Denver, but that's the thing is you always have to factor in health. So it would be nice to have one more guy so that if someone goes down, you can still rely on an extra shot creator. Jamal Murray would immensely change this series just by himself.
I hear that. So I guess what I'm thinking or saying is if it's a matter of your star players' health, then I feel like it's about getting more role players, getting more guys to carry the load throughout the regular season, and that you hope that's enough to get you in like prime healthy position for playoffs versus like, oh no, we need to get out and like make a change improvement to this core.
And that's something that Denver had most of the season. They gave up a little bit of that depth when they went and acquired Aaron Gordon. That was the decision they made. They said we're going to go a little bit more top heavy. Jamal Murray was healthy at the time, and Aaron Gordon was going to be their guy to take those bigger wings, right? He was going to be the wing stopper. But as soon as Jamal goes down, things thin out. Will Barton also goes down, and then you're missing Gary Harris. You're missing RJ Hampton. And it gets awful thin, and you got to get Austin Rivers on a contract for the rest of the season, and PJ Dozier's out as well. It's just, yeah, things crumpled quickly for Denver, and it's a bummer because I think they had a pretty decent shot this season with the way Jokic had played.
And what better time could you make that decision to trade depth for a little more top end than the trade deadline, the last possible minute? So
yeah,
they made a wise decision at the time, and in hindsight, it didn't work out. If Denver doesn't, oh no, it's a timeout.
Looks like
I was about to say if Denver doesn't get this drive, we can call the series, but they've got 18 seconds and 7 points to try and make up on timeout right now.
Doesn't look good.
No, if you're watching this on Monday, then we can probably say, wow, the Phoenix Suns have swept the Nuggets and won't sound like total idiots, but
and Chris Paul sports. Maybe gets his last or second last opportunity to get through the Western Conference Finals, which has been his biggest adversary. So
and how huge is it with the injuries that he's probably going to have almost a week to heal up?
Oh, it's huge. And again, the same thing that I say about the Jazz had an advantage because the Mavericks took a bite out of them, right? No matter what you say, playing 7 games of playoff basketball against any team is not a walk in the park. And so even if the Clippers get out of this series, even if Utah gets out of this series, they're going to have some bumps and bruises, and Phoenix is going to be a little bit fresher and be able to take a little bit more. So it'll be fascinating to see what's going to come of this other Western Conference series, and can Chris Paul finally break through, because God knows he deserves it, right?